Okay guys, I am still not feeling the best, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys. This is usually a Saturday video. This is usually one of my bonus videos, but because I'm not feeling good, this will be my Thursday video. And then I'm not too sure if I'm going to put out another video this week. Just depends on how I'm feeling tomorrow. If I'm still feeling like how I'm feeling today, I definitely will not be putting out a video on Saturday. The video is going to be sales from starting right after Christmas of 2023, leading into January and I think some of February of 2024. And that Cologne estate sale that I went to in October, where I believe a lot of those sales started in my last bonus video. A lot of those items are sold during this time as well, and that sale is really what made me decide to really start focusing on beauty products and discontinued cleaning products. I'm gonna go ahead and just get this video started. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate all of you, and I will see you on my next video in a couple of days. These 4 dessert forks sold for $50 plus shipping on eBay. I picked up an entire set of this flatware for $2 at 90% off day at an estate sale 2 months ago. This vintage Ralph Lauren wool vest sold for $75 plus shipping on eBay, and I picked it up about a month and a half ago for $3. Keep an eye out for these smaller coffee pots when you're out thrifting. This one I picked up for $3.99 and it sold within a month for $33 plus shipping. I picked up this Bruce the Spruce for $3.99 at Goodwill, and it took about 10 days to sell for $30. I've made so much money off these hangers. This is my 3rd set to sell. I paid $2, it sold for $18. I picked this up for $1.99 3 weeks ago. I got a $14 offer after Christmas, so I went ahead and took it just to get rid of it. I paid about $3 for this vintage Junie and Burke purse at the bins, and it sold for $54 plus shipping, and it took about 3.5 months for this one to sell. I love picking up light items like this at the bins. I maybe paid 10 cents for this, and it sold for $12 plus shipping in 2 weeks. This Department 56 pond sold for $85 in about 2 days. I only paid $3 for this since all Christmas items are half off at my Goodwill stores. I took a low offer on these for a quick sale. They sold for $35 plus shipping overnight, and I paid $6 for these. I'm getting down to my last few colognes. This one sold for $45.50 plus shipping in about 10 weeks. I paid $2 for all of these lights at the bins, and they took about 6 weeks to sell. They sold for $30 plus shipping. I sold another one of my colognes. This one was a vintage Old Spice aftershave, and it sold for $66 plus shipping in about 10 weeks. This was another item I took a low offer on. I just didn't want to hang on to it much longer just because Christmas is over. Sold for $60 plus shipping in about 5 weeks. I paid $7.99. This is probably one of the oldest items I have. This took about 2.5 years to sell. I paid $2.99 for this, and it sold for $31 plus shipping on eBay. This was another Christmas item I took a lower offer on just to get rid of it. I paid $1.99. It sold for $15 in about 3.5 weeks. I paid $4.99 for this older Fujifilm camera, and it sold within a week for $45 plus shipping on eBay. I've already made my money back from this trip to the bins, but I probably paid about $4 for this Duluth bag, and it sold for $50. It took about 3 weeks to sell. This bed skirt took about a month to sell. It sold for $40 plus shipping, and I made my money back on all of this bedding already. I picked up this Griswold pan for $3 at the bins, and it sold for $54 in about 3 days once I got it listed. In better condition, it definitely would have fetched more money. This tube of glitter I found in my trunk. It fell out from an estate sale. I listed it, and it sold for $7 within 48 hours. I paid 75 cents for this bar of soap in March, and it sold for $6.93 plus shipping. It only took 8 days for this Magnolite roaster to sell. I took an offer of $85 just for the quick sale. I paid $10 for it. Took 3 weeks for these LL Bean boots to sell. I paid $8 for them, and they sold for $54 plus shipping. This ceramic Christmas tree sold for $110 plus shipping. I picked this up in March along with a bunch of other Christmas items for $80, so this is 100% profit. These Cole Haan boots took 3 weeks to sell. I paid $4.99 for them, and I took a best offer of $30 plus shipping. I paid $2 for this posture pump at the bins, and it took a month and a half to sell. It sold for $24.80 plus shipping on eBay. Daytime planners are definitely a Bolo. I picked this one up for $1.50 at the thrift store, and it sold for $33 plus shipping. I took a low offer of $45 on these light switches. These came from the Cologne estate sale. They took about 9 weeks to sell. I picked up this Cabela's nightstand for $2 at the bins about 7 months ago, and it sold for $25 plus shipping. I've had these maps for like a year and a half. I paid 39 cents at the bins, and they sold for $18 plus shipping on eBay. I picked this piece up about 6 months ago, but I just got it listed. It sold within 48 hours of listing. This is a Hartman leather cosmetic case. I accepted an offer of $21 plus shipping because of the condition. Hartman luggage is definitely a Bolo, and if you see any, definitely pick it up, look it up, especially the pieces that are all leather or leather and tweed. I've already profited over $1,700 from this Cologne estate sale. I sold this one for $37 plus shipping. I picked up these shoes at Goodwill for $9.99, and they sold within 5 days for $45 plus shipping. This vintage frog scrubby holder took about 6 months to sell. I paid 25 cents, and he sold for $17 plus shipping. This ornament kit took about 4 months to sell. I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $12 plus shipping. This hamper took a really long time to sell. It probably took a little over 2 years. I paid $5 for it, and this was a $45 profit. I started listing things from around the house, like this essential oil. This sold for $20 plus shipping in less than 24 hours. I picked up this canteen for 50 cents at the bins, and it sold within 3 weeks for $8 plus shipping. My name's Amanda. I've been reselling on eBay for over 20 years, and eBay has given me the freedom to stay home with my kids and make a full-time income, only working part-time hours. I buy all my items at thrift stores, estate sales, and garage sales. Some days I work 8 hours, and some days I work no hours and go celebrate my sister's birthday with my family. I travel about 5 months out of the year for my daughter's travel volleyball, which cost us $10,000 last year, and eBay paid for all of it. I get to enjoy moments like these because I'm not stuck at a 9 to 5. Like and follow if you'd like to learn how to resell on eBay and gain some freedom. It took about 3 months for this bottle of shampoo to sell. It sold for $50 plus shipping, and it was made in 1984. I paid $2.99 for this vintage hair tool, and it sold within 12 hours of listing for $30 plus shipping on eBay. I paid $2 for a bathroom lot at an auction, and this mousse sold within 3 days for $78 plus shipping. I took these rollers off of a set of broken hot rollers at the bins, and I paid about 70 cents for these, and they sold for $12.75 plus shipping on eBay in about 3 weeks. This bubble cup Barbie was in really rough condition, so I took an offer of $15 on her, and she sold in 3 days. This bunny sold for $30 plus shipping and took well over a year to sell. It's brand new with tags. I paid $1 for it at a garage sale 2 summers ago. This bunny sold for $20 plus shipping. This one is new without tags, and I paid $1 for it at the same garage sale. I just reduced the price by 50% on both of these bunnies about 3 weeks ago. I picked up this bottle of mousse at an online auction for less than $2, and it sold for $78 in less than 3 days. These 3 lights were $5 a piece, so I paid $15 total for these in October, and they sold for $100 plus shipping on eBay. This one product I picked up for $1. It ended up selling for $26 on eBay, and it took about 5 months for this to sell. This Barbie dress was part of a lot that I won at an auction, and I've already made my money back on this, so this is all profit. This dress sold for $35 plus shipping in rough condition. I paid less than $3 for these vintage Downy balls, and they sold for $18 plus shipping. 2 of these are from 1996 and 3 are from 2000. I still have a few left to sell. This Black & Decker coffee pot took about 2 months to sell. I paid $5.99 for it, and it sold for $30 plus shipping. This Barbie sweater was part of the lot that dress came from, so this is all profit. This sold for $25 plus shipping, and it took about 3 weeks for these items to sell. I paid $1.99 for this mug a month ago, and it sold on eBay for $27 plus shipping. I found this Lisa Frank notebook in my parents' basement. I listed it and it sold within 30 minutes for $30 plus shipping. I sold this bobblehead for my cousin. They got it for free at a game, and it sold for $125 plus shipping. This vintage Littlest Pet Shop was all profit. This one sold for $10 plus shipping. I picked up this Miller Light umbrella at a garage sale this summer for $20, and it sold for $144
plus shipping. And I shipped this in the original box. Big items like this, I make a note in my listing to let potential buyers know that this will ship in its original box. This set of Estee Lauder perfume I picked up at a garage sale probably in June. I paid $2 for this and it sold for $38 on Mercari. I've had this Toby Keith DVD for sale for about 2 years, and my husband texted me the other morning that he had passed away. And I looked at my listing, it was listed for $3 and I only had one watcher. I upped my price to $25 and within 3 days it sold for full asking price. I paid $33 for this box of flatware about 3 weeks ago at a local auction, and it sold on eBay for $85 plus shipping. This pack of vintage bottle nipples sold for $35 plus shipping. I picked these up at the thrift store for 99 cents, and they sold within 12 hours of listing. I had never seen one of these cream cheese holders before. I paid $1 for this one and looked it up while I was in the store, and it sold for $12 plus shipping within 7 days. I'm in the profit on all of this vintage Barbie stuff that I picked up. I took an offer of $12.50 for this Fashion Queen. She's in really rough condition and she took about 3 weeks to sell. This was a lot of vintage Barbie clothes that I kind of threw together from scraps that I had laying around from over the years, and it sold for $28 plus shipping. I sold this Clinique face bar for $20 plus shipping, and I paid 75 cents for this about 2 weeks ago. These two plush sold on Mercari for $18 plus shipping. They were part of a huge lot I bought a year ago, and I'm all in the profit. This electric toothbrush sold so fast I didn't have a chance to put it away. I paid $10 and it sold for $68 in less than 24 hours. This Estee Lauder hairbrush took about a week and a half to sell. I picked it up at an estate sale for about 50 cents and it sold for $13 plus shipping on eBay. This Clinique hairbrush took about a week to sell. I paid 50 cents for it at an estate sale and it sold for $14 plus shipping on eBay. This one is the smaller travel size. This Furla bag took about a month to sell, maybe a little bit longer. I picked it up at the bins and I paid about $1.50 for it, and it sold for $30 plus shipping. I paid about 50 cents for these 2 tubes of glitter, and they sold within 12 hours for $18 plus shipping. I picked up this Young Living essential oil at an estate sale about a month ago. I paid probably less than a quarter for it, and it sold for $12 plus shipping. This midge is all profit. She sold for $38 plus shipping. She came from a lot of Barbie stuff I picked up at an estate sale. This Philosophy Solid perfume also came from an estate sale. I paid $1 for it, and it sold to a viewer for $28 plus shipping. This bottle of hair product sold for $89 in about 2 weeks. I paid $42 for 6 bottles of this. This is the Discontinued Height of Glam Matrix Vavoom Hair Foam. I picked up this Snoopy bowl for $5 at a garage sale this Saturday, and it sold overnight for $55 plus shipping. I picked up this Polly Pocket on Friday. This is just a card game from 1994, I believe, and it sold for $25. I picked up this Canon camera for $5 on Thursday at an estate sale, and it sold overnight for $50 plus shipping. This is some really old inventory that I just got listed the other day, and this sold for $93 plus shipping for this set, which includes these 2 pieces, another lid, and the red glass with that base. This is a repeat buyer who bought some other items like this from me recently. I paid $1 for this vintage brush and comb at an estate sale about 2 weeks ago, and they sold for $18 plus shipping on eBay. Like and follow for more what solds. I paid 50 cents for this paste wax at an estate sale about a week ago, and it sold for $33 plus shipping on eBay. I picked this book bag up at the bins for $1 about 13 months ago, and it sold for $19 plus shipping. This is actually the 3rd time I've sold this book bag. This is the first buyer who actually paid for it. Keep an eye out for this brand, La Berger. I always pick these up when I see them. The glass diffusers always sell better than these ones. I picked up this set for $5 and it sold for $35 plus shipping on eBay in about a week and a half. I paid 75 cents for this pack of Paper Mate ink refills, and they sold for $12 in about 2 months. These vintage razor blades sold for $12 plus shipping. I picked these up for 50 cents about 8 months ago at an estate sale. I paid just under $2 for this replacement bulb, and it took about a month and a half to sell for $18 plus shipping. I paid 75 cents for this advent calendar 3 months ago, and it sold for $12 plus shipping. These 2 lights have been around for probably a year and a half. I had 3 of them. The first one sold for $40. I cut the price drastically on these and sold both of these for $30 plus shipping. I paid $6 each for them. I picked up this perfume for a little less than $1 and it sold for $40 on eBay in about 3 weeks. These vintage goodie bobby pins sold for $10.44. I paid $0.25 for them about 3 weeks ago at the same estate sale. I paid $1.50 for this Clinique comb 5 weeks ago at an estate sale and it sold for $20 plus shipping on eBay. This Estee Lauder lipstick sold overnight. I paid 75 cents for it and it sold for $17.99 plus shipping. I picked up this toy for $3.99 at Goodwill about 6 weeks ago and it sold for $45 plus shipping. These cowboy boots don't have a brand name, but I paid $4.99 for them 6 weeks ago and they sold for $30 plus shipping. At my bins, all luggage is $2 and they considered this bag to be luggage because it was so large. So I paid $2 for this and it sold for $45 in about 4 months. This cologne is all profit. It came from the cologne estate sale that I went to in the beginning of October, and this one sold for $45 plus shipping. It took about 6 weeks for this hair product to sell. This is all profit. This is my second one to sell. This one sold for $72 plus shipping. I picked up this glass cleaner in October from the Cologne estate sale. I paid $0.25 for it and I took a best offer of $8 plus shipping. I picked this pitcher up at Goodwill 3 weeks ago for $2.99 and I took an offer of $59 plus shipping for it on eBay. I was sick of looking at this on my shelf, so I cut the price and took a best offer of $8. I paid 40 cents for this at the bins about 2.5 years ago. This Cutco knife sold for $20 in about 2 weeks. I paid $3 for it at Salvation Army. A month ago at an estate sale, I picked up this half-used bottle of Febreze for $1.50, and I took a best offer of $17 plus shipping on it. It took about 2 weeks for this Philosophy hand lotion to sell. I paid $1 at an estate sale, and it sold for $10 plus shipping. I went to the bins last week and paid $32 for an entire cart full of stuff, and this apple slicer sold for $17. These 3 hair products sold for $180 to the same buyer. I paid around $6.20 a bottle for these, and they probably took about a month to sell. Whenever I sell items like this, people always ask me why, and these are discontinued and no longer made anymore. I picked this item up at the bins, and it sold within 5 hours of listing, so I pay $1.49 a pound at the bins plus 6% sales tax, so I'm paying just under 10 cents an ounce, so I paid about 32 cents for this item. Ever since he passed away recently, Toby Keith items have skyrocketed in price. So before, this CD would never sell for more than $2 or $3, and I sold it for $15 plus shipping in less than 12 hours. I picked this up at the bins as well, so I paid about 30 cents for this one. About a week and a half ago, I paid $6 for 2 Cutco knives, and this one just sold today for $20 plus shipping, and there is a little bit of damage to the blade on this one. Now, I sold the other one a couple days ago for $20 plus shipping. I picked up this hairspray for $2 at an estate sale at the end of February, and it sold for $30 plus shipping. This is the third one of these coffee pots that I've sold in the last few months. So I picked this one up for $4.99 and it sold for $38 plus shipping in about 3.5 weeks. I worked out a deal with a repeat customer and I sold this mouse for $112 plus shipping, and I paid $4.99 for it a month and a half ago. I picked this up at the bins, maybe paid $1 for it, and it sold for $23 plus shipping in about 10 hours. I picked up this Yeti cup at that same bins trip, and I probably paid about $2 for this, and it sold for $20 plus shipping in about 12 hours. This swim cap was an international sale. It sold for $19.55. I paid 99 cents for this, and it took about 2.5 weeks for it to sell. This cup took probably 3 weeks to sell. I picked this up at an estate sale on half off day, so I paid $4 for this. This is a Stanley and LL Bean collaboration. This vintage aftershave sold for $120 plus shipping. I paid a little bit less than 50 cents for this about 2 months ago. This Nikon mag roller took about 10 days to sell. I paid $2 for it and it sold for $80 plus shipping. I'm always on the lookout for anything Pier 1, and I picked up these 2 Pier 1 plug-in refills about 6 weeks ago for $1, and they both sold for $19 plus shipping. I paid $1 for this Nikon ankle wrap at an estate sale, and it took about 2 weeks for this to sell. It sold for $22. Percentage-wise, this was a huge profit. I paid a nickel for this vintage Clinique lipstick. Yes, it is new, and it took about a month to sell, and it sold for $8. I picked up these LL Bean flip-flops 3 weeks ago at the bins. I paid $1 for them, and I took a best offer of $20 plus shipping. I picked up these Talbot leather loafers at Goodwill about 2 months ago, and I paid $5.99 for them, and I took a best offer of $33 plus shipping. I paid $2 for this Estee Lauder makeup about 2.5 months ago at an estate sale, and it sold for $55 plus shipping on eBay. This was brand new in the packet. I've had this razor for sale for probably close to 2 years now. I paid $2.50 for it, and it sold for $68.50. I paid $1 for this Bath & Body Works item about a month ago at an estate sale, and it sold for $40 plus shipping. This was also brand new. I paid $1 for this metal cleaner at an estate sale about a month ago, and it sold on eBay for $24 plus shipping. I paid $10 for this coffee maker around 3 weeks ago, and it sold for $75 plus shipping. I bought this mouse at the bins, and I probably paid about 30 cents for it, and it sold for $22 plus shipping in about 2 weeks. I paid $4 for this temperature gauge about 3 weeks ago, and it sold for $23 plus shipping. It took 4 months for this vintage turtle sewer lair to sell. I paid $3 at the bins, and it sold on eBay for $30 plus shipping. I paid $5.99 for this coffee pot, and it sold overnight for $45 plus shipping. I did take an offer on this. I had it listed for $55. The Salad Master Wok sold for $250 plus shipping, and it took about 6 weeks to sell. I paid $16 for it. I paid 50 cents for this pack of brand new pencils from $19.99 about a week ago. I listed them. They sold within 2 days for $10 plus shipping. The internet almost had a heart attack when I picked up this Christian Dior lotion. I paid about 25 cents for it, and it sold for $28 plus shipping in about a month and a half. I paid $10 for this Sony TV, and it sold for $200 plus $50 in shipping, and this one took about 2.5 months to sell. I paid $2 for these Bolo mugs at a Habitat for Humanity about 2 months ago, and they sold for $35 plus shipping. This pitcher was only $3, and it sold within 2 weeks of listing, and it sold for $45 plus shipping. This goes to a KitchenAid blender.